Alright, now that we're in December, it is finally on time I talk about this new video series that I want to do. I really want to do what I did for Superman, but for Supergirl. So if you don't know, when the Superman movie that came out this year was coming out, I, for about 10 months, reviewed one season of Smallville a month until that movie came out. And Supergirl also has a series that's 6 seasons long, and since we're now in December, we are exactly 6 months away. Every month, you will get a review of a season of Supergirl for me to talk about. Here's what I will say: I am not a big fan of the show. I've only seen a little bit of it. I've only really seen one season in total. I haven't seen any of the rest, so just know that. This isn't like Smallville where I've seen some of the stuff before. Smallville also, I will say, was a show I really loved, so that was a little bit easier to go through. This is not a show I love. Even watching this first season, you're going to hear me complain a little bit. But I'm excited to do this. But the other thing I want to state is I don't really know a lot about the Arrowverse. It came out when I was in high school, and well, a little bit before I was in high school, so it was about like 10 or whatever when the Flash started airing or something like that. I was not really into that stuff, and when I did finally get old enough to watch it, a lot of the people who were really into it had kind of tuned out of it, and I'm just not a big fan of that CW type shows. So I eventually do want to go through all the Arrowverse shows. I think the way I'm going to do is when, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest, but we'll figure it out. But let's talk about Supergirl Season 1. This season, I was actually surprised how much I enjoyed it, because this was a show that kind of was the weakest of the three big CW shows when the Arrowverse first dropped, because there was The Flash and Green Arrow. Supergirl was kind of whatever that the network it appeared on, they had to move it to a different channel. And I think it was after this first season, if I'm not remembering right. So I kind of expected, like, how good is this even going to be? Here's what I will say. I don't love this first season. I think it is kind of flawed. It does. This is totally one of those shows that kind of has some of the same problems of the CW shows when it came to adapting these characters. If you watch Green Arrow is nothing like he is in that show. If you watch Supergirl, the Supergirl character is nothing like she is in the show. So you're just going to have to either be with that and deal, or you're going to be whatever. I don't think this season had a really good like storyline arc to it, to be honest. And there were episodes I really enjoyed. Like, I liked episode 6 quite a bit. And a couple other episodes here and there of Supergirl kind of adapting to her life. She actually has some interesting storylines. But I think the problem with this show is just the elephant in the room. This is very clearly a show written by dudes about a very feminine character who kind of goes through a lot of the same kind of storylines. Relationship drama, which is fine. You can have relationship drama and it still be interesting, but it feels very that kind of relationship drama that's boring. And, you know, even episode 6, which was my favorite episode this season, I mean, it is kind of a cliche storyline to write about a female character, is I'm angry and I need to manage my anger. It really feels a little insulting and a little sexist that storylines like that get written out like that as often as they are. Like, it's very, not great, but I still liked a lot of it. I think, you know, Kara as a character and the actress, I'm forgetting her name, fit into this role so well that she's able to kind of make a lot of that work. I also will just acknowledge we will see Supergirl in the suit more often in the show. I do know that, but in this first season, you can really tell the budget limitations. You don't really see her in the suit as much. Now there is the crossover for the season. Flash shows up for just a little bit in one episode or two, and not really much to it to really say to that. But it was really cool at the time, I'm sure, for a lot of people. But like I said, I didn't really follow that, so I can't speak to what people were really saying at the time about that. But I do like this show. I think it's got a lot of stuff to offer, but it's a lot more flawed than I really would have hoped when starting this review series. But hopefully the show improves. Though I've heard a lot of CW shows don't get better over time. It gets significantly worse. But honestly, this is one of those shows I can't imagine how it could get significantly worse.